Welcome to this operations management tutorial video on inventory management. In this video we're going to focus on ABC classification. We're going to jump over into Excel and take the example that is in your textbook and use that to show you how to perform an ABC classification. What we have here is a table that contains 20 different part numbers and the annual volume, how many of these we sell, and what the unit cost is for each of these items. When we perform an ABC classification, we're trying to identify where to put our focus. If we have limited time or resources, we want to be able to understand which items are more important than others. In this example, we're going to use the annual dollar volume as that criteria by which we judge which parts are most important. So to compute the annual dollar volume, we simply take the annual unit volume times the unit cost, and then we copy that formula down through the table. And then what we need to do next is, and this is a very important step that you should not forget, we must sort this table by annual dollar volume in descending order. Now we don't grab the column when we do the sort, we don't grab the table. All we have to do is simply have the top cell highlighted, then we go to sort and filter, sort largest to smallest. And there we have it. It gives us the sorted items by annual dollar volume. The next step is we want to determine what percentage this cost is, or this annual dollar volume is, compared to the overall volume. So to do this, we divide the annual dollar volume by the sum of all of the annual dollar volumes. We're going to anchor that. And this tells us that this one part number is over 40% of our annual dollar volume. It's a big hitter in our portfolio of items that we are managing. We copy that formula down, and because we anchored it properly, the denominator stays the same, the range or the sum of all of the annual dollar volumes. Okay, now we need to look at the cumulative annual dollar volume. This will be very helpful to us and essential as we classify each item. So this is very simply equal to the sum of the first item, and then I hit a colon, the second item. But we want to anchor the first item, the row reference, put a dollar sign in front of the 2, close parentheses. And then as we copy this formula down, each formula retains the top number, the top annual dollar volume, as the anchor point, and then it descends down through the table. Okay, now we are told in this example that 20% of our items are A items, 30% are B, and 50% are C. So I can do this manually by just saying, okay, where is my breakpoint? 80%? Okay, so up to 80% would be A items, so I can do A, and then this item is beyond 80%, so this would be the beginning of my B items, and so forth, up to 95%, and then it looks like we've crossed the threshold here, and then the remaining ones would be C items, and I can do that all the way down. And so we would find out after doing so that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 A items. So 4 out of 20 is 20% of the items are A items. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 B items. So 30% of our items are B items. And then the remaining are going to be 10 items, which is 50% of our items. Yet, interestingly, the top 3 items constitute roughly 80% of the annual dollar volume. Now we can get a little bit fancier, and we'll do an automated classification. And we can write a nested if statement formula. So we can write the formula with an if, and then we grab this cell right here, is less than 0.8, which is 80%, then put A, and we have to put that A within quotations. Otherwise, again, we're going to open another if statement. If this cell is less than 0.95, then put B Otherwise, put C. And I can close parentheses, and I have a few parentheses, so I have to make sure I have enough parentheses there. Okay, looks like that's good. Hit enter. So this is going to be an A item. All right, well, let's see how our formula works. What do you know? It works. So the B items and the C items are automatically assigned using this nested if statement formula. Well, that's how you do an ABC classification. It is a very useful tool. Not only can it be used with inventory, it could be used with your suppliers, it can be used with your customers, it can be used in a variety of ways to help you organize your data and know where you need to put your focus.